machine. He's here to introduce his favorite games. From 100 to 1, he'll explain every one. Action, trivia, fantasy, and more. Stay tuned to see what's in store, so you can play the game, play the game, play the game. Yeah.
Hey folks, welcome back to another Top 100 list with Jason Levine. I'm Tom Basso, and this is
Jason Levine.
I just said that. All right. Well, anyway, we are now in the top 40, I think, right?
Yes. We're going to do my...
It's time for your top 40 countdown of the songs of the week.
from Casey Kasem.
So, anyhow, these better be good games. And I'm still doing okay. I still have 10 games here that you haven't mentioned yet. Although, actually, one of them is now off the list because I wrote Race for the Galaxy, and you said last time that was not on your list. So
No, so...
I thought that'd be in your top 10. Well, foolish on me. Let's find out.
Maybe he'll get the other 9 right. Now I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. Well, yeah, feel bad, but let's continue.
My number 40 is San Marco. I really, really like this game. I love the I split, you take mechanic, which we talked about in Piece of Cake much earlier on my list, but this actually has a full game with it.
It does have a full game, but not much more. It's still essentially I pick, you choose. There's not much. I mean, if you took that out of this game, I think this game would be completely forgettable and no one would talk about it ever.
But you can't take it out.
I understand that you can't take it out. I'm saying that one thing makes the game and everything else. You're like, there's a whole full game. The rest of the game's kind of boring.
It does. When Alan came up with this mechanic, it's an incredible mechanic.
It is a good one.
I mean, this was out way before Piece of Cake. And yes, there's a map and you're putting pieces on the map and you're building bridges and doing all these other things with it. But the I split you take is what makes the game great. So basically what I split you take is you have some cards that do different actions and I have to split them and Tom gets his first choice of which part of the split he wants. So it really, really, really makes you think about how you're going to split the cards, and it's wonderful. I don't know if you can get San Marco anymore. I think it's been out of print for a while, right? But it's one of those games that if someone has a copy and you can get it to the table and you want to play it, you'll really like it. You'll love this mechanic and you'll love the rest of the game, just what you have to do to get your points. The rest of it's very Euro, do I build bridges or do I go for sectors or things like that. But the actual I split you take, wonderful. My number 39 is Web of Power.
Yeah. Although I would suggest that Web of Power has been replaced completely by a game called Royals.
I was going to mention Royals during
is better
this.
than Web of Power.
Yes, Royals has kind of re-implemented it, which is a Dice Tower Central coming out soon.
That's right.
And but Web of Power was the original of this line.
Well, let me ask you a question. Web of Power was actually reprinted
as China.
Yes. There are actually some differences, but essentially the same game.
Yes.
Which one would you play?
Web of Power.
Really?
Yeah.
Awful artwork, though.
And it's interesting because we were just talking about Alan Moon one turn ago, but Ticket to Ride takes a lot of its mechanics from Web of Power. I really feel that the train taking in Ticket to Ride and how the cards come out for the trains was taken from Web of Power many, many years. No, obviously there's a lot different in Ticket to Ride. The game itself is very different. But that mechanic in Web of Power is the mechanic that sold me when I first played it. Basically, Michael Schacht came out with this idea that cards come out and there's 3 cards displayed and you have to decide, do you want to take one, or I think it's 2 or 3, I forget how many, but you decide, do you want to take these cards or do you want to take the mystery meat? And that was the first time anyone ever said mystery meat for a card. And
no one says that.
Everyone says mystery meat. When you take the random card or the rando, either the mystery meat or the rando, I'm going to take the rando.
What groups are you playing in?
Fun groups. So basically you're trying to set collect just like anything else. You're set collecting for different areas on the board, and then you're playing your cards to put things on the areas of the board that you want, control different regions. And Web of Power, that whole line of drafting cards to then use the cards to do actions or to place things down is great. And I really, really, really like Web of Power.
All right.
My number 38 is Tikal.
Okay, that's Z's number 1 exploration game.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, we were talking about Kramer and Kiesling a lot. I mean, they're fabulous designers, and Tikal was the original action point game where you have limited action points and you have limited actions you can do with those, and you have to decide what are the best actions you do with those action points. You're building up, also the theme of it's great, you're actually building up the monuments into Tikal, so you're building these little, I guess, pyramids or what, and you want to get to the top of them to score points, and you're exploring out. The map reveals as the game goes along. The map isn't quite there at the beginning, and it's a great game. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I've been playing it for years. It came out in the 90s. This is how old this game is, and they just made a newer version, Tikal 2, to kind of put it back into print.
It's a different game, though.
It's a different game.
It's very different game.
Yeah. But they made a newer version of it recently. I don't know if the original's still in print or it's just the newer version.
It is out of print, but there is, the Tikal 2 is out of print too.
Mexico just came back.
Tikal may come back. We'll see.
I hope so, because Mexico came back and so many good games. Java, the whole series is great, but Tikal is the definitive game in the series, I think.
All right.
My number 37 is Verator. This is...
Okay, I know what you're going to say, and he's wrong before he says it, but go ahead.
This is the greatest role-taking game out there.
That is such nonsense. I can't even hear that right now without being sad. Citadels is better. Libertalia is better.
No.
Yes.
No. I like Citadels a lot, but Verator did it first, did it better. It's based on the War of the Roses.
It's an okay game.
So you're deciding if you're going to be on the, on the red side or the white side, and it's basically the War of the Roses, and you have, basically what happens is you have a hand of cards. This is the game that came up with the card drafting mechanic for actions.
That. It definitely broke ground there. I just think it's been replaced completely.
No, I don't. I think that and Moiter both haven't been replaced, and they're both wonderful.
As you can see, they're so popular today.
Well, that's because they came out from Adlungspiel, who makes little card decks. They're not big games with big sprawling maps. Everything is a deck of cards. You're talking a deck of whatever 60 cards that they make their games.
Yeah.
But the drafting mechanic of, okay, we have the hand, one card goes out, then I pick first and I pass to you, then you pick, and then the last person gets the pick of the last two, so no one knows what anyone's role is, but you have ideas of what everyone's role is or what they're taking, and then you play your roles and you do things on the board. Do I want to be with the reds this turn or the whites? And things are, you're balancing out the power of what side you're on, because only certain sides are going to score points, and it's great. That was one of the mechanics I fell in love with years ago, and even to this day, yeah, you've mentioned many other games that have it. I don't think Libertalia is quite the same as it. It's a little different, but I do think Citadels was a take on the whole Verator aspect of card drafting, and role drafting is a great mechanic. I can't think of many mechanics I like more. Obviously, there's 36 mechanics I like more, but...
Let's find out what they are and get this little game in the rear view window.
My number 36 is Tribune.
Wow, okay. Solid worker placement game. I like this one.
Tribune? It's not real. I mean, I guess it is a worker placement.
It's definitely a worker placement game.
See, I don't... yeah, it's a worker placement, but I don't consider it so much a worker placement. I consider it a card drafting game, because you're worker placing to get cards, which then you're using the cards to do all your major actions. So yeah, I guess it is a worker placement. I never really thought of it as a worker placement.
I mean, you're putting workers on the board and taking cards and other things. You don't always get just cards. You get money too.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it is a worker placement. I never really thought of it that way, because I always think of it as the cards. The cards are the game. I mean, am I going to go for the senators this time? Or am I going to go for the Vestal Virgins this time? Or am I going to go for the
Makes sense.
the gladiators? It's set in ancient Roman times, and as I've always said, any game with a latrine is cool, and this game has a latrine, so therefore it's cool.
It's not a statement you want to stand behind, but
I
right.
do. Aaliyah, I have to ask, latrine, Tribune, latrine, and it's because ancient Rome had latrines. Glory to Rome had a latrine.
I get it.
But Tribune is wonderful. The expansion Brutus is great because it adds like a bad guy where someone could play the other side that fights against everyone else and has different victory conditions. And it's a great game. You start off with you basically have to collect sets to control powers, which give you bonuses as you control them, but other people can take over your powers. So you're not always controlling everything, but you want to control a little of everything as you go along.
Very interactive.
It's completely interactive. The most interactive worker placement out there, then, I'd say. One of them. It's a great game, and glory to Rome. My number 35 is Seven Wonders.
Wow, it's higher than I thought it would be.
Why? I like...
Well, no. I know you liked
it.
it. I just didn't know. Now, would Seven Wonders be high on your list without the expansions? Just base Seven Wonders?
Yes.
Really?
Base Seven Wonders, I have 3 copies of it because I burned out my first copy. I burned out almost the second copy. And I have 3 copies of Seven Wonders because I burned through, because I don't sleeve my cards, as everyone knows. So
if I understand, if you burned through a copy and bought a second copy, then why are you keeping the first copy?
Because it's part of my collection. I'm a collector. And Seven Wonders, card drafting. We talk about. I've been talking about card drafting a lot. Seven Wonders is the definitive card drafting game, I really feel. Among the Stars is great too. Don't get me wrong. I love Among the Stars, but Seven Wonders is the definitive card drafting game. It's also a great civ building game because as you draft the cards, you really have to build out your civilization. Are you going to go for technology? Are you going to go for military? Are you going to go for victory point cards? So you really have a lot to determine when you draft those cards. But I can't wait for Seven Wonders Duel, which is coming out very soon as well. We got to preview that, and it'll be a nice 2-player version of it. But Seven Wonders is just an incredible drafting game, and I really think it changed the market. When it came out, it really changed the market and showed that card drafting is a legitimate style of game, and there's been a lot of things out since then.
Yeah, I wish more people used that thing. I'm just surprised it was so high on your list, that's all.
I love it. Antoine did great.
All right.
My number 34 is Roll for the Galaxy.
Well, this is no surprise because earlier, was number 41. You knocked off. You said there was no Race for the Galaxy.
Yeah,
and that's because of San Juan and a combination of that and Roll for the Galaxy.
Yes, and don't get me wrong, I love Race for the Galaxy too. It's not like Race for the Galaxy is number 10,000 in my list. It's probably like in the 100s, but I think Roll for the Galaxy has truly replaced it.
For once, we're in agreement.
I loved dice. I'd rather, if I want to just play the card version, I'd rather play San Juan, but I love the dice. I'm looking forward to the expansion with the, as I call it, the Halloween dice, because it's
black and orange.
Black and orange. So I want to call it the Halloween expansion, even though I know they're not calling it that. And it is great. It takes Race for the Galaxy, and it really, really turns it into a dice version. And this isn't just Yahtzee dice like most dice games are. This is an actual game. You're strategically placing your dice to do the actions. You're getting secondary actions based on what other people do, and it has all the great aspects of Race for the Galaxy, but it uses those dice, and those dice are great. And the game is great, and definitely, I know we raved about it. I even talked about it when it was the Cult of the Unreleased, and now it's released, and I know it's been getting as good reviews as I've always said about it, and that's why it's this high on my list.
Alrighty. We're in the top third of your list now. Let's do it.
Yes, and the first game on the top third is number 1 for a lot of people, or at least on BGG, but for me it's number 33, and that's Twilight Struggle.
Okay.
I love the game. It really is a crossover because it's a card-driven war game, but it's Euro-like because they added cubes.
It's more area control than it is war. You're not really fighting. You're really just controlling different areas of the board.
Yes.
It looks like a war game. I'd say it's a Euro game with a ton of themes.
Yes, it's a crossover. It's a cross between a Euro and a war game, which is why it's number one on Board Game Geek. Because Euro people like it because you have cubes and an area control aspect. War gamers like it because it's got the card-driven war game aspects. And it really did a great job, an amazing job of combining the two and making it accessible to both types of gamers.
I would argue that it's number one on Board Game Geek because it is a great game, and I like it a lot too. But people who don't like it don't play it, so they don't rate it as much. It's probably not the most loved game out there. It's just that anyone who would like it
rates it. That's true. That's true. Well, I haven't rated it. It's not everyone who likes it rates it.
Well, you don't rate anything.
No, I don't. But it is a fabulous game. I'm looking forward to seeing how the special edition looks when it comes out in a few weeks. And it's a game that if you really want to, if you're a Euro gamer out there, or if you're even like a light gamer and you want to see how a war game plays, it's the game you should play as a crossover, and you will see if you like war games at all when you play this, and most people do.
You can not like war games and still like it.
Exactly.
It will not suck you into the war games, but it's a great game.
Amazing game. My number 32 is Agricola.
Okay.
I love this game.
You look almost sheepish for saying it. Why?
What do you mean sheepish?
You're like, I love Agricola, I just don't like this. Like Agricola.
No, I love it. I played it when it was still, and you probably remember this, when the cards were in German and you had to take stick-ups and stick the English
it was a terrible
rules.
time of our gaming history. Maybe never go back.
I played the stick-up version of it. That's how long I've been playing this game for. Great. It's tense. Obviously, feeding the people is... I don't even know what to call that mechanic. The feeding the people mechanic.
Feeding the people.
So that mechanic... I don't know if that was the first game to do it, but it really puts the tension into the game. It really puts in the tension of, wow, I have to do this, but I'm worker placing, I'm deciding what I want to do, but I have to be careful because if I don't get these certain things, then I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. I can't feed, I can't do this. And of course, the other thing that makes Agricola unique and what I like it, or why I like it better than other games like Caverna in the line, is because it's got the cards as well. And every game is different because you're going to draft your what are they called? The two different types of cards, the character cards and I forget what they're called. My brain's fried.
Oh, occupation cards.
Occupations and the other ones. What are the other ones? The ones where you build like the
minor improvements.
Yeah, the improvements. So when you're drafting those two types of cards, you really have to decide what am I going to go for this kind of strategy or this? And your cards are very, very important. And that's why I think I like it better than Caverna, is because Caverna, every game's the same, everything's laid out the same.
Oh my goodness. You talk about so many games in your list, like Web of Power, you recently said. How is that not every game is the same? Caverna, every game is not the same. Just because it doesn't have as many options as Agricola, every game is not the same.
Yes, but it doesn't have as many options, and you always know, I want to go for this building because it's the best, and I want to go for this building next because it's the second best.
There is no second building.
There's a lot of good buildings, but Agricola, every game's different because you have different cards in every game, so every game is completely different from the next one.
All right.
My number 31 is The Fury of Dracula.
Version
1. Version 1.
We have to point this out because honestly, Jason is the only... I'm not exaggerating here. You are the only person I've ever met who thinks the first version's the best.
There's a lot of people do. Let me explain why. Let me explain why I like the first version better. The reason I like the first version better is because the first...
Because you're an originalist.
No, not because I'm an originalist. It's because in later versions, to streamline it, they put the deck of cards. So if I go to London and then I go to Paris, I can't go back to London because the London card's already on the map.
Fine, though.
In the original, though, just like a game like Letters to Whitechapel, you can go to London, then Paris, then back to London, then back to Paris, and you can keep backtracking and doing things to make it harder for the Dracula hunters to find you.
The game already is hard for the hunters.
But now it's much easier because they can track you along the track.
It's balanced.
No, it was... I've wanted the hunters in the original game.
Now, I'm not going to argue that Fear of Dracula is not a fine game. It is a good game, and I think you should consider it after watching this list. But do not go out of your way to find that old version of the game. And if you do, use it for kindling. Get a new version. They're even coming out with a third edition.
They are. I'm looking forward to the new edition.
And he'll say, once the third comes out, he'll be like, well, the second edition was so much better.
No, I won't say that. I won't say that because I've already heard about some of the changes, and I think the third edition is going to be better than the second. I think Fantasy Flight is doing a good job with what they're doing, and I think the third edition is going to be even better than the second. But the one thing I didn't like about the second edition was the card layout of the cities. Yes, there was one card that said, go to a city that's already on the thing. Yeah. But if they had 5 of those cards, then you could go to the same city every time.
That's the difference.
So, yeah, that's the difference. The movement of Dracula made a big difference. Of course, it made the game shorter, which was part of the reason why it was done. It was to streamline the game. And I love the second edition too. I love Fear of Dracula in general. I love hidden movement games and trying to find people on a map. And of course, the theme in this, it overflows with theme. You're Van Helsing trying to hunt down Dracula, and